Hello everyone, welcome back to the ASP.NET MVC series. I'm Manoj, and in today's session we'll set up our development environment and create our very first ASP.NET MVC application. So if you haven't watched the previous video where we discussed what MVC is and how it works, make sure you check that one first. And by the end of this video you'll be able to install Visual Studio and create your first MVC web app, understand the folder structure, and run your application successfully on your browser. So let's jump right in. So the first of all, you need to go to your browser. So I'm on the Chrome browser. Here you need to type Visual Studio Community Download, hit enter. So you need to click on this first link, visualstudio.microsoft.com. Click on it. So here if you see, you can check your future of this Visual Studio, and here we have community, we have professional, we have enterprise. So the community, that is free for students, educators, and individual developers. So you can click on this free download. So the moment you click on the download button, your download starts. If you see Visual Studio setup.exe, go to this location. So here it is, just double click on it and it starts your installation. All right, so I have already installed, so I'm not going to install it again. So let me close this one, but make sure you install this properly. And let me quickly open your Visual Studio. So here it is, so Visual Studio 2022. So now it opens a new instance of our Visual Studio 2022. So here if you see, we can directly clone a repository if you have any GitHub repository, or if you can create you can open a project or solution, and you can also open a local folder, and you can also create a new project. So we are going to create a new project. So let me click on this, create a new project. So now it is loading all the templates if you see here on right hand side. So these are the type of applications which you can create using your Visual Studio. All right, now here in the template we need to search ASP.NET, ASP.NET space web application .NET framework. So if you see the second one, ASP.NET Core Web App Model View Controller, click on it, click next. So it will ask you to give your project name. So first MVC app, and it will ask you to choose a particular location. So let me quickly give this location. You can give your desired location and click on next. And then if you see, it also shows you the framework. So as of now it is automatically taking .NET 8, which is a stable version. So let me put as it is .NET 8, and configuration HTTP let's uncheck, otherwise you will get your SSL error on your local, and hit create. Now Visual Studio generated a new ASP.NET MVC project for you. If you see, this is your default you can say the interface of your new ASP.NET MVC application. So let's explore what it did. So if you see, here are several folders. Let's quickly understand their purpose. So first of all, if we open this controller, so we have a home controller. So basically this controller folder, it contains all the controller classes, and each controller handles user request. Now let's expand the models one. So model folder, it holds data classes and your business logic, as we discussed in our the previous video. If you haven't watched that, so I recommend you to go and watch that video so that you will see what controller does, what model does, and what a view does. All right. Now, we also have a folder called views. So views are your representation, the UI part, and it contains all the Razor files. If you see here, we have .cshtml. If I open home, so we have index.cshtml, and let's open this one, home.controller. So here we have some views called index and privacy. If you see, if I right click on it and go to view, so it lends to this index.html. All right. Now, so let's go ahead. So we have our app settings.json. So here we can put your values in key value format. So let's say if you want to store your any configurations like your connection string and other third-party APIs keys. So this is the perfect place where you can put it. And if you see here, we can create multiple app settings like based on your multiple environments like development environment, UAT, or production. All right. Now we have program.cs. So this is the starting point of your application. So whenever we run our MVC application, so it starts within this file. All right. Now let's expand this wwe root. So here we have css folder, js folder, and lib folder. So in this css you can put your css files for your styling. This js folder you can put your jQuery or JavaScript files, and within this lib you can put your, by default when you create a new ASP.NET MVC application, so we get bootstrap files. So if you want, if you have any some additional library files, you can put within this lib folder. And launch settings, if you see within this launch settings.json file, we have our application URL. So whenever we run this application, so you will see this will be your application base URL. So localhost colon 5026. All right. And the default environment is the development one. All right. Now let's try to run this application. Hit this button. So if you see build started, so it is preparing the environment to run this particular project on a browser. So what it does is basically Visual Studio tries to open your default browser. So in my case, the Chrome is my default browser. So you see, this is your default interface of your ASP.NET MVC application, a fresh ASP.NET MVC application. So this is the name because we have given the name while creating the project, and we have two views, home and privacy. If you see, on home we don't have anything, but on privacy we have privacy policy. And if let's go back to home, and on this home we have this welcome text. From where it is coming, let's go back to your project, and within this home controller, if you see, right click your index, go to view. So you see we have welcome, we have a hyperlink. Within this we have a link learn.microsoft.com. all right. Let's go back to the browser. This is the name of our application, and this is the footer part. And here we also have this privacy. All right. If you want, you can add multiple views, which we'll do in our later videos. Let's go back to the home controller. So here, if you see, this is our by default home controller, which we get when we create a new application. So here we have, as of now, we have two views, index and privacy. So if you see here, if we go back to the browser, if I click home, if I click privacy, so if you see, please see the difference. Let me open in a new tab. Okay, let's exchange. So this is our home view and this is our privacy view. So if you see the URLs, so this is your privacy URL and this is your default URL. So for index views, we don't need to put, like, if I put home and index, it will end up to the same page, right? So we can cater the index by using both the URLs. All right. Now here we have home privacy. Here we have the base URL only. If you go back to the code, if you see index.cshtml and privacy.cshtml, so these are your two basically views. If you want, you can change any part. Let me put here, let's say p2, save, and if I hot reload, go back to browser, privacy, so we have another part. So that's how you can add it to your details. You want to display any additional details, additional data, additional API response, you can do that. Now let's see how MVC connected it all right. Now if you see here, home privacy, so basically this is your request. So when you click this page, so basically this URL routing goes to your controller. Where, what is your controller? Home is your controller. So let's go back. So when we hit this particular URL, so it goes to your home controller, and what controller does, it basically execute based on your URL. So we are passing home slash privacy. So home is your controller and privacy is your view. So it directly goes from here to here. And what we have on this view, we have this dummy HTML which we are able to see on your view. All right. So that's how it executes your data. So this is the request. It goes to the controller based on your URL routing. It goes to the particular view, and whatever data we have on your view, it displays for the end user. All right. So let's quickly recap what we discussed today's session. So we installed Visual Studio. I did not, but you can install directly. I have shown you from where you can download your community version. Make sure you will download and install community version because it is free. If you go professional and enterprise, you have to pay. All right. So make sure for your practice or for your development, you will directly go to download your community edition. All right. And we created our first ASP.NET MVC project called First MVC app. Here you can see it. If I stop, let me show you one more thing. Right click on it and go to your properties. So if you want to see what properties are there for your this project, so you can go through one by one. So this is the framework, this is the target OS. All right. So if you scroll down, you will see a lot of properties for your this project. All right. So make sure you'll also go through this. And we have also explored your folder structure, and we ran and modify our privacy page. Here we added this one, and we are able to see the second paragraph tag as well. And we also understood when we call a particular endpoint or a URL or a route. All right. So how it goes, how request goes to the controller, from controller how it gets executed, and how we see a particular response or particular UI on the browser. All right. So this is about today's video. In the next video, we'll go deeper into the MVC folder structure, controllers, and the routing mechanism, the real heart of MVC. All right. So again, if you found this video helpful, comment below what you liked the most. Like and share this video. Subscribe for upcoming videos in this series. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video where we'll explore MVC routing and the folder structure in detail. Thank you. Bye bye.